guys, and welcome to today's video. I know it's not a gaming video per se, but we are going to do something that's sort of gaming related. Some of you may know that I was having some problems with my CPU. I have the Ryzen 5 2600X in it currently, and it looks like it's been overheating and we've been having some crashing issues, especially in the Subnautica series. So what we're going to be doing today is opening up a little box here from Amazon. You can probably get it cheaper somewhere else, but I was kind of in a rush for it, and I didn't really want to wait to get it from overseas or wherever like Newegg products come from. So won't be needing that. Won't be needing that. So what we have here is the AMD Ryzen 7 3800X. Not only does it come with a new CPU, it also comes with the new heatsink and cooling fan. This one's RGB, so maybe that'll be kind of nice. Let's go ahead and open it up, see what it looks like. Okay, we got a box in a box and another box in a box. So this little tiny box has the chipset itself. I'll get like a close-up of that here in a sec. And then in this box, we have the CPU cooler assembly. I'm hoping, oh my god, dude, this thing's way bigger than the last one. I'm hoping this isn't too big. Honestly, I have no idea, but we're gonna find out here in a minute. How does it attach? I'm very confused by this. There's no, the one I have in there right now has like hardware inside of it. It's got like bolts and stuff. If this is like a clamp design, that's really weird. But it is RGB, so I mean, that'll be pretty sick. I'm gonna try not to touch the heatsink. I don't know if that would mess it up or if my like hand oils and stuff would make it, I don't know, explode. But it has like copper piping, copper tubing on it, which looks pretty sweet. About the same cable here that they had in the previous rendition, but this looks super, super cool. There's these like little rubber grommets on the side. It might have like fan plugins or something. I don't know what those are for. I guess we'll find out. Maybe you have to plug it in with another cable. I really don't know. The fan has a low and high setting, which is interesting. The previous one didn't have that either. It's literally just a fan. This thing looks intense. I'm really eager to get this thing in there. So we have two little cables here. Looks like maybe an extension or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna bring you guys over here so you can kind of get a better look at things. This is the current setup. I know there's probably some glare here, but that is the AMD chipset for the 2600X, or not the chipset, I guess, but the heat sink and sort of the fan that goes on top there. So super simple, super basic. The cooling should be, and I say should be, way better with this. As you guys can see, it is massive. Like compare it to that. So this is the new chipset, the 3800X. If it'll focus, I might be too close to it. They're kind of focused, but came with a new little sticker too. So on the back of the PC here, we have a Ryzen 5 sticker. So I'm just gonna basically put that sticker over top of it. I think that might look kind of nice. All right, I am going to try to film this with the best of my abilities. Hopefully it'll focus in on all of this and it'll turn out looking good. And yes, you should technically have a grounding table and all that sort of stuff to properly work on a computer. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna shut this thing down quick. Okay, so first step, we're gonna go plug on, Jesus Christ. We're going to turn off the main power, flip the little switch on the back there, and I'm gonna move this up here as well as this. And first up, we're gonna have to just basically dismantle the case. It's super easy. Just 4 little bolts here that hold this main glass panel on. And we can slip off the glass panel. You kind of have to be careful with this. I don't think it would shatter very easily, but better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so now, if I remember right, am I gonna need a light for this? Yeah, let me grab a light and a screwdriver and I'll be right back. Okay, we got a little bit more light now. Just with a like USB powered LED strip, it'll do the trick. So what we have to do first is remove the old CPU heatsink. So it's literally 4 screws around the outside, pretty easy. All right, there's 1. Try and get the bottom one here. 2, and now 3. All right, she's coming off. And the last one down here in the corner. Okay, so there we go. So you guys can see the thermal paste on the back there. I did actually remove this once before when I was installing my new RAM sticks there. I didn't reapply thermal paste, so I think that could be an issue, obviously. But now that we have this taken off, we gotta reach up in here to remove this. There we go. That's the plug for the fan itself. But you guys will notice really quick, there's some pretty big differences in these two. Obviously, this one is massive. This one's very, very small. But I think it is really cool that this actually comes straight out of the box with a new CPU from AMD. I think that's really sweet. Okay, so getting the old CPU out is actually very, very easy. There's a little lever right here. And honestly, you just open it up like that and you can pinch and grab and pull it off. Now, I have a feeling there's a right way to do this and a wrong way. I'm gonna do it the only way I know how, which is to physically grab it and try to pull it off. It's in there pretty good, so I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not. Okay, and there we go. Got the old chipset off. Now, never touch the back of this, ever. I don't care who you are, it's a bad idea. Okay, now here's where I think I made an oopsie, because the heatsink that comes with the Ryzen 7 is a lot different than the one that I'm used to, so I might have to do a little research here and figure out how I'm supposed to get this to work. I don't see any points on this motherboard that I can hook this up to. So that has me a little worried. Okay, so luckily I was smart enough to save everything that came with my original motherboard here. So these are essentially little brackets that you actually put onto the top side here and the bottom side of the motherboard, and that's going to let these pins on the side of this sort of lock into that and hold it up snug close to the motherboard so you can get the maximum heating capacity that you would possibly, yep, that's what you want in your computer is heat. I have a little screw up there now. That's just so I can pull on the back plate there and make sure that this is gonna come in good contact with it. Okay, so this one is going to go about here, but I have to get it in contact with the backing plate here. So in order to do that, I have a screw put in on this side. I'm just gonna pull the back plate so it's up snug close to where the screw needs to go into and try to get this screw to thread into the backing plate. So I'm gonna unscrew this side now that I have that little screw sort of holding it in place, and we're gonna position the bracket here and screw this in just like that. There we go, nice and snug, but not too snug. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have the top bracket done, we just need to do the same thing for the bottom. Okay, so now we have the top bracket here and the bottom bracket assembled. This would probably be a good time to get out your can of compressed air, spray it on in there, make sure it's all cleaned out, wait a couple of hours, maybe, I don't know, 1 to 2 hours probably, make sure there's no moisture in there, and then probably put in your new chipset. Now, I don't have any compressed air, so we're just gonna send it. Gonna peel apart this package holding the new CPU. Now, if I remember right, there is a specific orientation that this has to be in. I believe it's this way. If I install this incorrectly, I'm gonna be very, very mad. I think it's this way. Uh-oh. Yeah, because if I remember right, there's a little indentation up there in the top left. There's also a little indentation on here in the top left, top right on the back side, but there's a little arrow right there. I think that has to go this way, so I'm gonna try to do this. Oh God, without trembling too badly. Right there looks pretty good. Okay, so you have to be very gentle with this, but you just want to slide this down and get that to lock in place, and there you go. You just put in your first CPU, super easy. The hardest part about that is you don't want to use too much force. It's very, very easy to get fed up with it and sort of press it in premature. Just caress it. Just treat it like it's a first date type of thing, you know what I mean? Okay, now for this bad boy Billy right here. I have no idea how to do this. It seems like it would be common sense, but I don't know, man. This looks kind of weird. So it looks like you get one side put in first, and then you'll be able to do the other. So I think this is top side here. Try to do this, I guess. There we go. Heard it click. It's on there. I don't know if there's a way to make sure that it's straight. Okay. And there we go. I think, God, that was stressful. I think I actually did it. Okay, so now that we have that done, we just have to plug this little cable here back into where the other one once was. It's in there. I tried to move the cable around a little bit so it wouldn't interfere with this and it wouldn't interfere with my fans on the top. I think I did okay. Okay, if you guys thought this was going to be a very in-depth tutorial on how to install a CPU, it's not. This was honestly my second CPU I've ever installed, and this one was way harder than the first, especially with the addition of those new brackets and a fastening feature for a heatsink that I've never seen before. Some of you, if you've built PCs, probably are like, dude, what is this dude doing? He's not even grounded to anything. Well, that's true. I also have shoes on and socks, and I'm on a carpet. But anyways, it is together. I found out that the bottom ports on the heatsink fan control unit housing thing, basically there's 2 ports there and one, or you can use one of 2 cables pretty much. This one I believe is for RGB specific outputs that you would have on your motherboard. I don't have any of those, or at least I don't think I have any of those. There was another cable that I think will work. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. Cable management, not my specialty, but if it gets the job done, it gets the job done at the end of the day. So, turn you guys around here. We have a small little black cable coming off the bottom of the heatsink fan. Comes down across the GPU. It's not touching the GPU. It's very close. It's not quite touching. And then we have a small, very, very small little port right here, if you guys can see that. So there's 3 wires there. There's a black, a green, and a white. I'm assuming it's just for RGB. I'm not gonna put the glass on just yet, not until I know everything is done correctly. But I guess we're gonna try it and we'll see what happens. So those are lighting up, that's good. Oh my God. It turned on. That's amazing. It sounds good. It looks pretty good too, even on the camera. I'm waiting for the feed to go to my monitor right now. It's not up just yet. Dude, that looks intense. None of the cables are touching any of the fans, so that's good. Oh. You know what I just thought about? How much is stored on your CPU? Oh no. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. Hopefully it actually works. So the RGB is definitely working. This fan is definitely working, but it doesn't want to boot. Oh, there we go. Hang on a second. I think it's working. Wait for it. There we go. Windows 10, baby. All right. Is the time right? Where's my phone at? No, the time is not right at all. It's 4:50. We'll have to change that, but dude, it booted up. Wow, that looks terrible. Okay, we're gonna have to Jesus Christ, look at this. I had all my apps organized and everything looked awesome, and now it looks like this. So that's neat. Uh-oh. And oh, there we go. It's like trying to reconfigure itself. The icons are very, very, very small, but maybe we can fix this. Okay, I am going to restart the computer quick, make sure everything's tip-top shape. I'm gonna open up the BIOS for Gigabyte, make sure the motherboard is reading the chipset correctly and all that stuff, but I'm excited. I'm really excited. I hope this fixes all of my issues, but we'll see. All right, we're just gonna smash delete. There we go. BIOS has been reset. Please reconfigure your BIOS setup items if needed. Memory is reading 21 now, so I'm gonna have to reset that to overclock to 3200 megahertz. All my applications are now full-sized. Everything looks pretty good. Okay, so I would normally use my boom arm, swing arm microphone to record the audio for this video, but since the camera's over there, I think I'm just gonna stick with that. that'll make my life a lot easier when editing this too. I'm gonna just record my screen here for you guys. We're gonna open up an application called 3D Mark. If you guys have built PCs in the past, you might be familiar with this. You can get it off of Steam. I think it's on sale right now. It's maybe $4 or $5. It's stupid cheap right now, so I highly recommend you do that. But basically we're gonna go through and benchmark the computer with the new chipset in there, and hopefully it's better, I guess. We'll find out. So now comes the fun part. We get to kind of examine both of them. So since this one was the 4K for the 38, let's load up the 4K for the 26. Actually, not that big of a difference, but the CPU score is quite a big difference. I'll try to get screen grabs and sort of tile them, like one on the left, one on the right, so you guys can sort of get the bigger picture here. The graphics score, like I said, shouldn't change, but the CPU score, it looks like a 2,000 point increase. I don't know if that's really how the system works. So we know that. Let's load up the 2600 in 1080. See what we got for that. We had a 6611, CPU score of 6468, graphics score of 6637. I'm gonna try to remember that. That's a lot of numbers for small brain. 1080p 3800, and we will compare these. So we got a 6712. So not a huge overall increase. If I were to ever upgrade the GPU, I do think I would see a pretty decent increase in the graphics score, obviously, but then the total score overall should definitely improve as well. CPU score on this one, we got a 10,224, and graphics score is a 6329 on the new CPU that we installed. Obviously, we're gonna have to reinstall the glass panel, but we need to cover this up because it is no longer a Ryzen 5, it's a Ryzen 7. And there we go. That's like one of the stupidest possible things you can do on a computer, but gotta flex a little bit and show people you got a Ryzen 7, right? Now, the CPU that we installed today is not terribly expensive. It's actually relatively inexpensive, and honestly, I have zero computer knowledge. So this was surprisingly easy for someone like me that doesn't really have a whole lot of knowledge about this stuff. It really went pretty easily. I had to read through the installation instructions pretty heavily, but I mean, don't you always have to do that? All right, now let's get the glass put back on here, and we'll get our bolts put back in the corners. And there we go, finished product. So in conclusion, do I think that you should follow this as a tutorial on how to install a CPU in your PC at home? Absolutely not. Do not follow anything that I did in this video. If you guys do want to learn how to do this, there are a ton of actual tutorials on the old interwebs, on the YouTubes specifically, that you can follow, and they're probably a lot more helpful than this video. But I don't even know what this video is going to turn out to be. I'm going to have to chop it up pretty heavily, I think. But I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.